matter. And again, I must thank Sheila for her patience and her cooperation, because phone calls are not, to Jerry, are not confined to office hours, and very often Sheila is the one who answers the phone. So Sheila, sorry, but thanks. Now, a lot of the staff were called on as well, as far as this function is concerned. Charlie O'Donovan arranged everything around me here. Elizabeth Quinn, I'm afraid her night will be spoiled because she is director of photography for the night. Anne O'Shaughnessy got a job, I can't say what it is. Dolores O'Mara, I think, it is secret errand as well, thanks to Dolores. Matt Kelly will be editing the video. Marion Kelly will be looking after the PR work. And of course, Tim Frawley and Noel Earley. They bore the brunt of it. I must also say to the hotel, thank you for such lavish surroundings. Everything to date has been perfect. Any of you who experienced this event last year will anticipate a meal equal to the occasion. In anticipation, I say to the hotel, thanks for everything. Now, that is about all I have to say, only to revert to myself and to say to JP, on my own behalf, thanks JP for everything. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Fallon alluded to the fact that he's a Galway man. I don't wish to offend anybody here tonight who may have Kildare connections, but I do think if 15 men perform on Sunday week as well as Eddie Fallon has just performed, then I think the Sam Maguire is going over the shanty. It's my very pleasant function now to call on Eddie again, and maybe Sue-Ann McManus, if they come forward and formally present the scrolls to the scholarship winners. If we have a Trevor Bourne, please, Trevor. Roger Goff. man who has his hand on the tiller of Sexton Street, the principal, Mr. Tim Frawley.
Deputy Mayor, Minister, Reverend Father, Reverend Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. It's once more my great privilege and pleasant duty to welcome you on behalf of Sexton Street CBS to this function tonight. There was great excitement a year ago at the inaugural presentation of the J.P. McManus Scholarships. The excitement this year is no less than 12 months ago. The prospect of winning such a valuable prize added greatly to the tension of August 19th, the morning of the Leaving Cert results. The class of '98 were deeply aware from their time in fifth year of the rewards awaiting hard work and diligence. The results of their endeavours are here tonight. 8 young men who can face third level education in the knowledge that finance will be no major worry. For that peace of mind, they owe a great debt of gratitude to J.P. McManus, a past pupil of Sexton Street, who had the generosity and foresight to invest in the future of our school. The 8 students who are proud and worthy winners of this year's scholarships are heirs to a proud tradition, the tradition that is Sexton Street. For close on 200 years, the Christian Brothers educated young men who took and still take a leading place in all walks of life. Unfortunately, the Christian Brothers' numbers have fallen, but they have bequeathed a system of education of which they can be justly proud, because among them were and still are teachers of the highest calibre. Of them it can surely be said, nach mega lehedi rishang. I'm glad that Brother Power is here tonight for the awarding of this year's scholarships. He was principal in Sexton Street for 17 years, and but for him, I don't think we would have the fine school we now work in. He presided over the launch of the scholarship scheme, and he knew and we knew that the scholarships would make Sexton Street unique and a very attractive school for prospective pupils at a time when numbers entering secondary education are falling. As I did last year, I would remind the 8 young men here tonight never to forget their Sexton Street roots. Always be proud of your alma mater, just as your alma mater is and will be proud of you. I congratulate you on your achievement. You brought honour to yourselves, your families, your teachers at primary and secondary level. I wish you every success in your chosen courses and careers. I don't think the other 7 will mind if I make a special mention of Michael Metcalfe. Michael has brought a special distinction to himself, his family and his teachers by winning the James Connolly Scholarship for his outstanding achievement in mathematics, physics, chemistry and applied maths. Well done. I might also mention that for the 2nd year, a repeat Leaving Cert student has won a scholarship. Joe Mulqueen improved his grades by 100 points, which goes to show what hard work allied to good sound intelligence can achieve. Well done, Joe. I now have a special request for Willie O'D. I get the odd call from Willie's office with requests for this or that wayward student. Irish education can hold its own with any system, but it can always be improved. A simple reduction in the pupil-teacher ratio would bring into the system young teachers who are closer in outlook and ideas to the youth in our schools, and undoubtedly would improve our standards. So I appeal to Willie to put in a good word in high places to which he has access, and easy access. Finally, I would like to thank the trustees of the Scholarship Fund, Eddie Fallon, Pat Hartigan and Gerald Boland, who, together with Sue Ann McManus, have worked tirelessly in the organisation of this function. Dóibh siúd, míle buíochas. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did refer to your starter as being referred to jokingly as 10 to 9. I've just been corrected. It's actually meant to be 10 past 9. It's my great pleasure now to call the man who has been chairperson of the VEC in Limerick. I think he may correct me, I think it's for the last 25 years. Would you welcome, please, the Deputy Mayor of Limerick, Mr. Frank Ledden.
Good evening, Mr. MC, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Brothers, Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, let me explain my position here this evening. I'm here representing His Worship the Mayor Councillor Joe Harrington, who regretfully couldn't attend and asked me to stand here in his place, which I am doing. I'm greatly pleased and very pleased personally to be here this evening to join with the tributes being paid to the McManus family by Eddie and by Tim and by yourself, Noel. And I do so as a person who went through the portals of CBS and Sextons. And like the 200 years of education in Limerick, the generations of Limerick persons, wives, owe a debt of gratitude to the CBS for their education over that span of years. It is, as mentioned by Tim, and the Minister will deal with it when he speaks here later, we are living in a changing world, changing times, changing events. And education is no different from any other facet of life. It has moved into the age of technology, and thankfully for that. And thankfully too, if I refer back again briefly, and bearing in mind your order, a note of 10 past 9 closure or commencement of dinner, bearing that in mind, one has to respect the efforts of one J.P. McManus, who has guaranteed for some years to come the continuation of these funding for our students. It is, as Tim said rightly, with the decline in population and the numbers going to second level schooling, it will make CBS regenerated and be a capital where people will seek to get their boys into. I want to, on my own personal behalf, on behalf of the Mayor of Limerick, and indeed on behalf of the citizens of Limerick, to express to your brother Power, to your brother brothers and to your teachers, our appreciation, our thanks for all your efforts over the years, and to you, the teachers, and no doubt to the 7 boys here tonight, every success to you and much desires.
I know our next speaker expressed great concern about the junior cert results coming out today and the alcohol consumption that they might lead to. Could I assure you, Willie O'D, that here tonight, this party here tonight will give nothing but Father Matthew-like examples. It's my great pleasure now to call on the Minister for State for Education and Science, Mr. Willie O'D.
The Father Matthew example will be led by none other than myself. I want to sincerely thank the McManus family for their very kind invitation here tonight, both myself and my wife, and I want to apologise immediately for my wife. Unfortunately, she can't be here. She's abroad at the moment, so I'm on my own. And in view of my well-known lack of culinary skills, I wish I could be invited out to dinner like this every night. If anybody has any functions in mind for tomorrow night, invite me here. Anybody who writes about or studies the history of Ireland's economy in the second half of the 20th century will be struck by one particular fact: investment in education. about 2 decades ago, politicians, with a foresight which I have to say people don't usually associate with politicians, decided that investment, heavy public investment in education, was the sine qua non to economic growth and expansion. And that investment, made by successive governments on behalf of the Irish taxpayers, has paid rich dividends. It's no exaggeration to say that investment in the education system is the single biggest factor which have brought us within a quarter of a century from being the economic backwater of Europe to what we are today. The fastest growing economy, one of the fastest growing, and I think in this year, the fastest growing economy in the entire world. That commitment has been made by the taxpayer. Various schemes have been devised by government in recent years to encourage the private sector to invest in the education system. Various incentives have been developed, and I'm not giving away in advance any budget secrets when I say that those incentives will be further refined and further expanded by my colleague, the Minister for Finance, in the next budget due in 2 months' time. However, what we have here tonight is an example of somebody who didn't need any incentive, who didn't need any encouragement, who didn't need any cajolement, who on his own behalf and entirely of his own volition, in a spontaneous act of generosity, magnificent generosity, or of loyalty to his alma mater, has made this magnificent contribution to his old school, Sexton Street CBS. And on behalf of the department, and on behalf of the countless lads who are going to benefit, I want to sincerely thank him. I recall attending the fair at Milford Hospice last Sunday week. That's another example of J.P. McManus's generosity. I could quote other examples in the public domain. But what's even more striking is the countless examples of that man's generosity in many private ways, ways where the donation of the assistance was anonymous at his own request. The usual reaction of human nature is that when somebody who has made it well in the world contributes to a charity or helps somebody less well off, they want as many people as possible to know. With J.P. McManus, he doesn't want anybody to know. And his record of generosity, and his record of giving, and his record of assistance to so many people, particularly anonymously and particularly privately, is much more eloquent testimony to that man and what he has done and what he is than any words that I could put together here tonight. His success has been phenomenal, but it has been hard-earned and richly deserved and generously shared, and I want to thank him on behalf of all of us. And I think that not only the lads who won the awards here tonight and next year and future years owe him a great debt of gratitude, but indeed the community as a whole owes him a great debt of gratitude, because he has demonstrated what is possible when a man succeeds, when a man who has a truly great spirit succeeds. I want to just briefly conclude by, of course, congratulating the lads and wishing them the very best. And I know that looking at the brief resume of their CVs there on the accompanying documentation, as they say, I know that these scholarships will be well used, and people and the successful students will derive great benefit from them. I also want to congratulate their parents, whom I'm delighted to see here tonight, and to thank them for their endurance, their forbearance, and their support. And in final conclusion, I again want to congratulate Sexton Street CBS. I want to congratulate you, Tim, you and your staff and your school, and I want to salute you for the magnificent reputation you continue to enjoy, and for the exemplary teaching standards you continue to maintain. So it's not a night for long speeches, it's a night for celebration. I don't know if we've reached 9:10 yet. I want you to get down to it now, enjoy yourself. It's a night of celebration, a celebration richly deserved. Thank you very much.
Eddie Fallon has already alluded to the tremendous work and the tremendous commitment my great pleasure now to call on Mr. Jerry Boland to speak on behalf of the trustees of the McManus Scholarships.
Deputy Mayor, Mr. Minister, Reverend Father, Reverend Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. This evening we move into the second chapter of the J.P. McManus Scholarship Programme, which, if recorded in book form, could easily become a bestseller in a non-fiction category in time. This is a true story which embraces the enormous generosity of the donor, the dedication, skill and application of the teaching staff at Sexton Street, Limerick, the hard work, sweat, prolonged concentration, stress, fear and competitiveness of the students at Sexton Street, and the great joy and elation of those who receive excellent results in the Leaving Certificate examinations and deservedly win the J.P. McManus Scholarship Awards. The preface to this story commenced during late 1996 when JP proposed the scholarship idea, which idea was developed further and formally established during the early months of 1997. He proposed that there should be up to 8 scholarships awarded based on the Leaving Certificate results each year and applied as a contribution towards the support and maintenance of the winners throughout the period of their university education. These awards were initially set at the level of £3,000 per annum per student, or £2,000 per annum per student in receipt of another significant scholarship, local authority grant, or residing at home. During the course of consultations with JP earlier this year, JP expressed a view that there should be no distinction made in the level of awards granted and requested that all of the awards should be set at the level of £3,000 per annum each. The trustees had a concern in this regard, as the scholarship payments would exceed the sum of £100,000 per annum within 4 to 5 years, and depending on the level of interest rates available on the scholarship fund, the fund could become fully depleted by the year 2015. The trustees had set different levels for the awards with the purpose of achieving a reasonable balance between the requirements of the current award winners and those who will follow in later years. JP's immediate and pragmatic response to this concern was to make an additional substantial contribution to the capital of the fund, increasing the entire by 50% and thereby protecting the corpus of the scholarship fund at current interest rates and payment levels indefinitely and certainly well into the middle of the next century. This further expression of JP's generosity is quite extraordinary and shows his real interest and commitment to the success of his old school, Limerick CBS, and the students attending there. The first chapter of the story is devoted to the 1997 Scholarship Award winners, of whom there are 8. I'm very pleased to report that they all performed extremely well in their first year college examinations, most with plenty of A's, and all moved forward to a second year. You may be interested to know the courses being pursued by these students. Not one pursues a business degree program. They are not going to be accountants reporting on past or current financial events, or waiting around to pick up the pieces when businesses fail. No, they've all chosen the more exciting and creative careers of art, science and engineering. 4 pursuing Bachelor of Science degrees and 3 pursuing Bachelor of Engineering degrees. Some of these major in physics and biochemistry, and 3 major in computers. That is following in the footsteps of Bill Gates, Michael Dell, and others like them. Frank McCourt Eat your heart out. This is going to be a bestseller. The 1997 award winners are excellent achievers. They will challenge the world and emerge as business leaders during the early part of the next century. They are a credit to themselves, the teaching staff at Sexton Street, and indeed to their parents. The second chapter of the story is to be devoted to you, the 1998 award winners. You, your families, and teachers are to be congratulated on your excellent achievement in winning the scholarship awards. But you're really only starting. I fully appreciate the extreme efforts which were required over the last 2 to 3 years in achieving your excellent results. But all that we can do now is to exhort you to continue with similar efforts and application throughout your years at college. Too many students relax during the first and second terms of first year and find that they have too much to make up and consolidate on their weaknesses. Enjoy your years at college, but aim to graduate with an honours degree. The foundation which you set during first year could be the difference between an honours degree and a pass degree when you eventually graduate. Please do not lose the focus and commitment which you have well demonstrated in winning the scholarship awards. It is up to you to make the second chapter of this book the most exciting chapter overall. On behalf of the trustees, Eddie, Pat and myself, I would again like to congratulate you on your excellent achievements and wish you continued success in the future. The trustees will maintain contact with you throughout your university careers, distributing cheques, etc. But they also have a real and genuine interest in your continuing success, and best of luck. I would also like to thank JP, Noreen, Swan and Kieran for their generosity in hosting this event, and also to Swan and Pat and others who were involved in the organisation of this very successful evening. Thank you.
agus Aristáid agus a cáid ar fad. Aláthas go deor mar ríiste bheith seo an nocht, bhí mar seo blian ó hin agus aláthas oring de túsacol leis an scéim scoláireachta seo. I bhfad níos fearr an nocht bhfuil an scéim scoláireachta go raig, agus a bhhacha sin mar a dúirt mór an daoine hena féin de JP McManus as an muoinú agus an bhlathúlacht a caiise leis an scéim scoláireachta bhunú agus is an scéim scoláireachta Corcan Cín agus a chur raig. Isteach dí an millennium atá teacht agus beidir má haid an seo ríist I gion chuige blian go mé ag fáilú rih na daoine a bheith ag fáil scoláireachtaí an bhíl sin. Agus is tóga that the best way would be of thanking JP McManus and thanking his family is really what Jerry Boland has said about the 8 people who got the scholarships last year. They worked hard, they achieved their goal, they had the success of 1 year, and that is in itself the best thanks and the best practice that we could give to the McManus family. And I'm quite sure that the 8 people who are receiving the scholarships tonight will work as arduously and as hard and through the difficulties of getting into 3rd level and working through the 1st term and the 2nd term and the 3rd term, Jerry, and finishing out at the end of that year and finishing out their degree course with what they set out to do to get the best possible results from the generosity of JP McManus in making the facilities available to them. This is an opportunity for them. In this day and age, you grasp whatever opportunity you get and you run with it. Something like the great heroes that we saw like Pat Hartigan and Willie Moore and these coming out in Croke Park, 25 years older than they were in 1973. But what they did in 73, they got the ball, they ran with it and they scored goals. Would to God we had another team that went in over the last 25 years and did it as well. But in the education sphere, you must do the same thing. You must take what opportunities are there, and there are opportunities there. Competition is keen, but the opportunities are much greater than they were. I think last year I referred to the fact that a couple of years ago when I did the Leaving Search, only a couple of years ago, there were only 2 scholarships available by Limerick Corporation to go to university. There was a handful of state scholarships that time.